Carolina Caroline, Adam Carter Rehmeier previews his Samara weaving outlaw romance ahead of TIFF. The director, whose varied credits include the controversial The Bunny Game, cult hit Dinner in America, and Underseen Gem Snack Shack, says his Toronto entry is his most commercial film. The upcoming Carolina Caroline is all the more reason why you should keep a close eye on the work of American filmmaker Adam Carter Rehmeier. Premiering this week at the Toronto International Film Festival, Carolina Caroline is an outlaw road movie that chronicles the crime spree and romance of a young West Texas woman named Caroline, Samara Weaving, and an effortlessly cool conman known as Oliver, Kyle Gallner. The film may be set at the turn of the 21st century, but as a 70s-inspired throwback, Carolina Caroline continues Rehmeier's streak of timeless Americana that he established with his Gallner-led cult hit Dinner in America, 2020, and last year's Underseen Gem, Snack Shack. The latter is based on Rehmeier's own Nebraska City childhood. Rehmeier's three most recent films explore underrepresented corners of America, be it the Midwest or the South in Carolina's case. They're each united by coming-of-age themes, including first love and first heartbreak, as well as varying degrees of anarchy, rebellion, and mischief. Weaving's Caroline may be in her mid to late 20s, but she's actively prevented herself from leaving the nest, specifically her single father's house. That is until Oliver and his grifting lifestyle become too tempting to resist. There's just something about being an American filmmaker. So I see that Americana quality in my work, and I don't want to shy away from it. I want to embrace it. Rehmeier tells The Hollywood Reporter in support of Carolina Caroline's September 5th world premiere at TIFF. I am inspired by David Lynch and the Coen brothers' bodies of work and their takes on America. I want to work in that space, and there's merit in working with what you know. Rehmeier is especially proud of what his Carolina Caroline team was able to accomplish on a 3.5-week schedule in Kentucky. We're an independent, low-budget film. We did 92 sets on a 25-day schedule. Just do the math, and if that doesn't make your heart palpitate, you're in trouble. Rehmeier shares. I had so many line producers tell me this was impossible to do, but I was able to pull it off with this really amazing team. Rehmeier's story is especially fascinating when you consider the manner in which he began his feature directorial career. His 2011 debut, The Bunny Game, is an avant-garde horror film that realistically portrays the abduction and torture of a sex worker, Rodleen Gitzik's Bunny, by a sadistic trucker. The controversial film literally pulled no punches, so much so that it was banned in the UK. 14 years later, Rehmeier now believes he's made his most commercial film yet. The performances that Kyle Gallner and Samara Weaving deliver are very much a part of a more mainstream type of film, Rehmeier says. Of my 3 recent films, I feel like Carolina Caroline is the most accessible for a larger, movie-going audience. Below, during a recent conversation with THR, Rehmeier also discusses his origin story in the camera department, as well as how he helped reshape screenwriter Tom Dean's Carolina Caroline script. You're about to premiere Carolina Caroline at TIFF. Is this the ideal launch pad for you and your entire team? 100%. With a film like this, you hope for a festival like TIFF. It was absolutely the goalpost. Relative to Dinner in America and Snack Shack, when did the script for Carolina Caroline first reach your inbox? It was in between Dinner and Snack Shack. I was in prep for Snack Shack when I found out that I got Carolina Caroline. So the plan was to shoot it right after Snack Shack, but then the strikes happened. You often wear a lot of hats on your films: writer, director, producer, and editor. But you didn't shoulder everything yourself on this one. What led to the rare delegation? I just built out an amazing team over these last 3 films. Francesca Palombo, my production designer, and my French-Canadian DP, Jean-Philippe Bernier, have such a deep love of Americana. So we plan everything out shot for shot in prep, but we allow ourselves to be surprised on the day. We're an independent, low-budget film, so there's a lot of give and take that you have to overcome. We did 92 sets on a 25-day schedule. Just do the math, and if that doesn't make your heart palpitate, you're in trouble. I had so many line producers tell me this was impossible to do, but I was able to pull it off with this really amazing team. Your editor was a college friend? Yeah, Justin Crone and our college roommates, and I've known him for 30 years. He wasn't a member of the team until Snack Shack, but he knows me and my taste really well. He emotionally mines the footage and has such great attention to detail. He was directly responsible for the country music needle drops in Carolina. 90% of those are Justin and his sensibilities. So he really went above and beyond, soundtrack-wise, and it's sublime you mentioned the keyword of Americana moments ago. Of your 3 recent films, it's been said that you're trying to bring back a type of Americana movie that isn't made that much anymore. Is there actually a strategy behind it all? My interests are wide, and while I will branch out again, there's just something about being an American filmmaker. So I see that Americana quality in my work, and I don't want to shy away from it. I want to embrace it. I love films like David Lynch's Blue Velvet that are about the underbelly of Middle America. So I am inspired by David Lynch and the Coen brothers' bodies of work and their takes on America. I want to work in that space, and there's merit in working with what you know. Prior to the 2020s, you spent most of your career in the camera department, save for a couple experimental films you directed in the early 2010s. What do you make of your career arc? It took a lot of persistence. That's the number one thing. My interests and tastes in what I want to do have grown and expanded. I've had a lot of long-term projects that haven't fully come to fruition. They've been optioned, or they're in the TV space and things like that. Design-wise, they're huge, so I've been very busy while also working as a camera operator. I'm outside of Hollywood now, after living in LA for 16 or 17 years, but I'm still working in it. And a lot of what I've done was to provide for my family and stay afloat, whether it was working as an operator, a writer, a director, or an editor. I've done all of those elements professionally. Between your 3 most recent films in the 2020s and your 2 companion films from the early 2010s, each era feels like a completely different filmmaker. I actually wondered if you added the Carter to your professional name as a way to signify you're now a completely different filmmaker. Does the Bunny Game 2011 side of your filmmaking personality still exist in you? I don't think I added Carter for any reason other than I thought the flow was better. My last name, Rehmeier, pronounced Rehmeier, gets pretty butchered most of the time. But the era of using Carter does coincide with me actually scripting films, starting with the unproduced Save a Bullet for Me and Dinner in America. Prior to that, I was more interested in documentary and improvisational filmmaking, and I did not work with scripts like I do now. Regarding the Bun,